Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Star. I trust you're well.
I'm blessed and I'm happy to speak to you. You have a very nice voice, so I'm happy to speak to you.
Okay, all right. So, the president yesterday had cause to mention that the Ghanaian electorate should choose Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to continue his legacy, and that a choice by the Ghanaian voter for John Dramani Mahama, flag bearer of the NDC, would derail and undo the legacy that he has built over the past 8 years. Has your team taken note of this call, and what do you make of it?
Let me ask you, when you heard the or you read the news, were you not amused? Did you not smile or laugh? Oh, I wanted to know your reaction, genuinely.
Well, we are in the political season, so of course, the politicians will always have their way of saying what they want to say. But I'm curious to know what you make of this comment that's been made.
No, I think that the statement by the president shows a man who is so obsessed with President Mahama. For 7 years and even into the 8th year, the NPP has demonstrated that their political party and government cannot survive independent of President Mahama. They have attributed their inability to govern this nation, their inability to do what they promised the people of Ghana to do, and their inability to do anything right by the people and for the people to President Mahama. So it tells you the level of obsession they have. Now, if you take President Mahama out of the equation, the MPP has no message. The MPP certainly would not know what to tell to the Ghanaian people. But let me tell you, and let me say this to our cherished listeners, that Nanado has no legacy, which is positive for anybody to destroy. And so this morning, I will enumerate to you the legacies of this government, which President Mahama would destroy. And so when the president says that President Mahama will destroy his legacy, we agree with him on the basis that President Mahama would destroy his legacy of nepotism, unprecedented nepotism, running this small country with 51 friends and families in government, including his baby mama. That legacy President Mahama would destroy. President Mahama would destroy the legacy of people at the Jubilee House, destroying our environment under the guise of Galamsey. That is not a legacy that any country should, live with. And so, yes, we will destroy that legacy. The legacy where this government has wiped away the middle class under the guise of haircuts and financial and economic mismanagement, we will destroy that legacy. The legacy where in times when children do not have vaccines, and the president will be concerned about flying presidential private jets. My dear, that legacy, President Mahama will certainly destroy it. The legacy where the president and the office of president has become a clearing agent, practically clearing every government official who is involved in one scandal or the other. Trust me, that legacy will be destroyed. Of course, the legacy of disrespecting our chiefs in recent times where the president has been summoning chiefs to stand up and greet him, that legacy we will destroy. And we will install or restore the integrity of the chieftain or of the chief to the people. That legacy, President Mahama will destroy. The legacy of state capture, of abuse of office, of cooking some deals, the SML, the Ijapa, among others. That legacy, yes, President Mahama will destroy. The legacy of dishing out state access to the children, like the Terminal 3, the duty-free shop at the Terminal 3. That legacy, my dear, President Mahama would destroy.
So, in terms of legacy destruction, you have your list of legacies that you destroy.
Oh, yes.
I see.
And these are not even exhaustive. The legacy where in the history of this president, more than 55 billion cedis have been lost to corruption by the Auditor General report. That legacy must be destroyed. Wouldn't you agree with me? At the time when people don't have hospitals. And you see, these things we are seeing, it is not a comparison of NDC and NPP, because under the NDC, none of these things happened. And so we are simply not comparing two political parties. We are talking about a negative impact which would take us 10, 15, 20 years as a nation to go back to where we were even before Nana Addo came. And so those legacies we will destroy. And the president, you know, his handlers should do him a lot of good. The president's handlers must script the president. The president, anytime he's not scripted and he's speaking, he does not speak in the presidential way. And I think that the office of the president carries some aura, carries some glory, carries some finesse that comes with it. And anybody who seeks to occupy that office must exude these qualities. In recent times, we have seen that the standards have been too lowered. And I think that is a cause for concern.
But Beatrice, when the president does enumerate his legacy, I'm not sure you mentioned what you've mentioned. He will talk about the free senior high school policy. He will speak about the 1D, 1F, the one village, one dam, as legacies that he has put through, which have been of benefit to the Ghanaian people. Those are not legacies that you would destroy, would you?
Do you have a dictionary there with you?
I am sure I can find one.
You have a dictionary on your phone. I'll be happy if you take myself and listeners through the meaning of legacy so I can respond to these things. I'll be very happy.
The long-lasting impact of particular events or actions. That's what a legacy is.
That's what the legacy is.
Yes.
Please, can you also assist me with communities where you can find one village, one dam? We are taking it one at a time so our listeners can enjoy the debate.
Well, that will be for the president to answer, not me.
There is none. I have been to all 5 regions of the north. And every constituency we have been to, this government has not created dams. What they have done is to have some dugouts, which dries up even before the drying season. The dams you are seeing in the north, like the Tamni Dam and another dam located at Sandema, they were the legacies of President Mahama. And you should send your reporters to go and look at the Tamni Dam, the biggest man-made dam for irrigation in Ghana. So, what is the legacy when it comes to one village, one dam? Then he says that one district, one factory. Oh, but why do you want to set up the president for ridicule this morning? His appointees themselves have admitted that they haven't set up factories, that they are only supporting some factories which already exist. So let me give you an example. In Dr. Baumir's own hometown, he promised his people, the people of Wale, that he was going to build a watermelon processing factory. As I speak to you, send your reporters to Wale. There is no single watermelon processing factory in Wale. So please, there is no legacy when it comes to one district, one factory. The government itself has not been able to tell us how many factories they have, built under that policy. Their figures keep changing. They keep churning out figures. When you challenge them, They will then mention Casapreco. At the time Casapreco was founded, I wasn't even born. So now, how can that be a legacy? You just read that the thing must transcend you and must have a lifelong impact. Please, even under this government, the IMF, NAGRAT, NAT, the heads of schools, CHAS, they have all called for a review of the free SHS because the quality of education is falling. Recently, you saw Ghana's ranking in Africa when it came to education. Students are in school and they cannot have food to eat, and everybody is calling for a review. That certainly cannot be a project that transcends and has a lifelong, lasting impact. And so every policy of this government has been planned as a stopgap, not as a policy that must transcend. This is a government that is so concerned about the next election and not the next generation. And so today we are having to have employment doubled by 100%. We are having to have employment doubled by 100%, from 8% to 14.7%. Are you not depressed by the statistics I'm giving you? For the first time, the president's own classmates cannot afford their diabetes drugs. They cannot afford to buy the drugs of their age. Pensioners cannot afford to have access to their money. Why? Because the president and his cousin in the history of this country overborrowed. And we are in what we call the debt exchange. Are you not depressed? Where lies the legacy of this government? The president will go down in the history of this country as the worst president to have ever occupied the seat since independence, 1957. Because check the records. Just last March, the president in his own State of the Nation's address told us that our country is in the state that for 40 years, we have never been there. And so if the president himself is telling you that his failure cannot even be compared to the time when Ghana gained independence and some years back, please, my dear, where lies the legacy? And so for the negative ones, which will have a lasting impression on us, and albeit affect the lives of people negatively, like the high rate of unemployment, like the debt exchange, like the state capture, where this president has created a lot of schemes to enrich his family and friends. Those ones, you can take my word for it. President Mahama, I speak for him, and he will destroy those legacies. The time and the legacy where the presidency is now being used as clearing agents, those legacies will be destroyed. But when it comes to the positive meaning of a legacy, calculated to make the lives of people better, I can assure you this president has made the lives of people worse. And let me prove to you. You remember in the lead up to the 2016 election, this president engaged in the Calipo challenge. You remember?
Yes.
I'm sure some of you guys will have even joined in drinking Calipo. You know why it was easy for people to join the Calipo challenge? At the time, Calipo was 1 cedi. And so everybody with 1 cedi could just buy Calipo. Today, I dare the government to start the same Calipo challenge because Calipo is now 5 cedis. This is a precedent that was moving from church stations to chore bars and was eating at chore bars and was engaging the chore drivers. At the time he was doing that, a gallon of fuel was 14 cedis. Today, a gallon of fuel is 68 cedis and more. And so, what will be the legacy? that you went to a group of people and campaigned, and in your 8th year, their lives are worse off. At the time the president was campaigning, we were a country that President Mahama had solved doom for. And when he even assumed office, he said we had excess power. And for more than 6 years, they said President Mahama had given them more power than they needed. Today, I am sure you might have slept in the dark, because I did. We are back to the problems that your predecessor solved. So, my dear, President Mahama is the man who is coming to destroy all the negative legacy. But this current president has lost the moral right, has lost the effrontery to talk about legacy, because he has none. The state-owned organizations like the ECG, the BOS, the free zones, and name them, that were making profits at the time this government assumed power, today they are making losses. What legacy will that be? And
all right.
so I want Ghanaians to join me and to join the NDC to destroy every negative legacy of this president. And this is a sacred duty we owe to Ghana, because we have been around for long, and both MPP led by Akufo has had its own challenges. The NDC has had its own challenges in government, but never in the history of our country have we seen this level of depreciation in the quality of lives of our people. Never have we seen so much excruciating hardship that for the first time people have no hope. Never have we seen the macroeconomic indicators showing that our country is all-time low. And finally, for the first time, the Committee of Nations are using Ghana as examples of how not to govern nations. It certainly cannot be the legacy you and I want. And so if you are a first-timer and you haven't registered, please register and join the NDC to vote this reckless government out.
Beatrice Annan, thank you for your time this morning and for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's Beatrice Annan, the Deputy Communications Director for the John Mahama Campaign, responding to Mr. President and the comments made that a vote for John Dramani Mahama will destroy the legacy that he has built as president over the last 7 going on 8 years. Your views and comments are equally welcome. WhatsApp line is 05528880